Hi, welcome to my channel Handmade in Marbella. My name's Jeanette. This is episode 10 of my Granny Square series. In this video I will show you how to join together all the squares we made in the previous episodes to make a blanket. I'm using an Aran weight yarn and a 5mm hook. The yarn I'm using is listed in the description below, along with a link where you can buy the yarn if you wish. This is an affiliate link, so if you purchase anything using this link, I will earn a few cents, but you won't pay any extra. If you've watched the whole series so far and made all the squares, then by now you should have 9 squares. But don't worry, I'll put the playlist in the description below so you can catch up with any you've missed. If you make 4 of each square, you would have 36 squares, which will make a blanket about 1 meter square plus whatever border you decide to make. If you don't like all the squares, or if you want a different size blanket, you can adjust how you like. It's your blanket, you can make it how you want. To demonstrate the join, I will just use these 9 squares, and this is what it will look like. I'll just quickly show you a possible layout for 36 squares, and then how it looks joined, and then we'll get down to the process. So once you've decided on the layout, the easiest thing to do is just to pick up the squares and put them in piles. So start from the corner you're going to start from, which is this corner here, and just pile them up in different piles so you don't lose the order. Keep the one from this side has to be on the top, and the one on the bottom of the pile is the one that you're going to. So this is going to be my first row. So we're going to start crocheting here at the top, and working just like a normal granny square. You work along this side of this square and then down this side. So at this point it's just like a normal granny square, but when you get to this corner, then we have to switch over to this square and crochet back up this side, but joining as we go. So I'll show you how to do that. Then we'd crochet along the top of here and down this side. Then we bring in the next square and crochet up this side, joining as we go, and then along the top and down the next square. If you've got more squares, you just keep going in the same way. When you get to the very end, the last square at the bottom corner here, then we just crochet all the way back along to the beginning and then start with the next row. So we take our joining colour and we're going to start with a standing treble. That's a UK standing treble or a US standing double. So you put a slip stitch on your hook and just start as a normal treble crochet into that corner, and 2 more treble crochets, just like in exactly the same as you would do with the granny square. So we're going to do 3 trebles in each space all along, exactly the same. In the corner is 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles, all the way back down to this corner, and we just start with 3 trebles. So if you want to work those stitches, pause the video and I'll meet you when we get to this corner. So when you've crocheted those 2 sides, we get to this corner here. Normally on a corner we would do 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles. So we're just going to do the first 3 trebles and the 2 chains, but then the other 3 trebles that would normally go into a corner are actually going to go into the corner of the next square. So in this square, this corner, we just do the 3 trebles. And then we're going to join now, to join this side to this side. We have to keep the yarn above, and we have to put the hook underneath into the first space. Pull your yarn through and through the stitches on your hook, and then 3 treble crochets into the next space on this side. Just 3 normal treble crochets, and then we need to join again, keeping the yarn above. The hook goes into this space from underneath, pull the yarn through and through the stitch that's on your hook. Then in the next space, 3 more treble crochets. Do that one again because I dropped it. 3 treble crochets. Then into the next space, this space here, underneath, take the yarn through and through the stitch that's on your hook, and then three trebles in the next space. So we can see now each pair of trebles, each group of trebles is lined up with just one stitch, like a slip stitch really, just in the spaces in between, just to hold them together. So we've done the 3 trebles, so the hook goes into the next space from underneath, pull the yarn through and through the hook on the stitch on your hook, and then 3 more trebles in the next space on this side. Once again, the hook from underneath, pull the yarn through and through the stitches on your hook, 3 more trebles, and then again the hook goes into the next space from underneath, yarn pull through, yarn through the stitch on your hook, and then we've come to the corner, so we do 3 trebles in the corner first of all, one chain, then the hook goes into the corner space on the opposite side. You should be level with the corner space, so it goes from underneath again, once again the same way, pull the yarn through and through the stitch on your hook, and then 1 more chain, because remember we need 2 chains on a corner space. Turn the corner and do 3 trebles into the same corner space. And I'll pull it out flat so you can see it better. So we have them all joined up in pairs with just the little slip stitch in between, joining them together. And then this is how the corner looks. You can see the corner space on this side and the corner space on this side, and it's joined together with that slip stitch. So now we're going to crochet as normal, just normal crocheting along this side and then down this side to the corner once again. So pause the video here and I'll catch you up when we get to this corner. So now we've got to the bottom of this second square. So we've done 3 treble crochets already in the corner. Now we do 2 chains, and then the next 3 trebles are going to go in the corner, the bottom corner of the next square. So put the 3 trebles in there. And then once again we're going to join this side to this side. So this is your first space under here. So put the hook underneath, through the space, but from underneath. Pull the yarn through and through the stitch that's on your hook, and then 3 trebles in the next space. And then once again in the next space, which is this one, put the hook from underneath, pull the yarn through and through the stitch on your hook, and then 3 trebles in the next space. And it's like that all the way along. Put the hook from behind. There are other ways to join them together, but this is the method I use. But you may have seen on other videos, you may have seen it's done in a slightly different way, but I always do it in this way. from behind, 3 trebles in the next space. In the corner, 3 trebles and 1 chain, again with the hook from behind to pull the yarn through and through the stitch on your hook, and 1 chain, and then turn and put the 3 trebles in the corner to complete the corner on this square. So each square is done exactly the same as an ordinary round in a granny square. It's just the actual joining with a slip stitch, and then as well in the after 1 chain, then the slip stitch, and then 1 chain to complete the corner, and 3 trebles. So again, we're going to crochet all the way along this side and all the way down to the corner, and then you would continue, if you've got more squares, you can continue exactly the same way, but I'm going to now turn back after the 3 squares. So pause the video, and when you get to this corner, I'll meet you back here. So when you get to the bottom of the last square, you need to turn your work around so it's easy to work on this final edge. So we've done 3 trebles already in this corner, so 2 chains, 3 trebles as a normal corner. And then crochet along until you get to the join here, because that's a little bit different. So just crochet along here and I'll meet you at this join. So we get here now to the join, and as this is a corner, so we need to put the 3 trebles in that corner first of all to complete that round. And then we're going to get across this join where the 2 squares join. So we do 1 chain, put the hook into this square, this space from above, pull the yarn through and through the stitch on your hook, so like a slip stitch. 1 chain, because we always need 2 chains in the corners, and then we're jumping straight across to this next corner and putting 3 trebles in this corner. And when you look at it, you can see it's the same as the one opposite that we did. So we've got the completed corner here, 3 trebles and the space and 3 trebles. And on this side, we've got the 3 trebles, the corner space and the 3 trebles, and it's just joined here by a slip stitch. So if you're going to crochet along here again, when we get to this space, I'll show you again. So when we get to the join here, we need, first of all, we need 3 treble crochets in this corner space, the last corner of this square, and then we do 1 chain. We're going to join now into this space, so put the hook from above to catch the thread here, yarn here, and pull it through, and also through the stitch that was on your hook. 1 more chain, and then 3 trebles in the corner on the next square. And then we just carry on then to the next corner as normal. So we get to this final corner and we just put 3 trebles into the corner. We're not going to go back up this edge yet, because that's the final thing we do. So we're going to turn the work back around, because remember we're upside down because we were working on the bottom. So turn it around, and now we need the next row of squares. So we're going to have this square here and this square here. So now we're going to work along now. We've got to join this square to this edge and then crochet down here and then join this square to this edge and to this edge and then crochet back down the final side. So it works in the same principle as the rest of it. We've nothing new here now. We're just have to watch your direction. So this corner we've done 3 trebles, so we need 2 chains, And then we're going to put in this square, the top corner of this square, we're going to put the 3 trebles. And then we're going to join into the first space on this edge, put the hook underneath to pull the yarn through and through the stitches on your hook. And then again, 3 trebles in the next space. And then the yarn, put the hook from behind in the next space to catch the yarn to pull it through and through the stitches on your hook. And then 3 more trebles in the next space. And we do that for the rest of this side now, up until the corner space. So I'll meet you back at this space. So when we get to the corner of this square, we do 3 trebles in the final corner. One chain, and then we're going to join not in this corner that's next to it, but in the opposite corner. So in the space that's in the opposite corner, we put the hook from behind, pull the yarn through and through the stitches on your hook, and 1 chain, and turn your work around because we're now going to crochet down this side. So put the 3 trebles to finish that corner. So we can see now we've got these 3 squares are joined at the corner. So crochet along here now, and I'll meet you back at this corner here. So when we get to this corner, we need to bring in the next square. And so we've done 3 trebles in this corner. We do 2 chains and 3 trebles in the corner of the next square. And then we're going to join in the same way, join these 2 edges together. So we put the hook from behind, pull through, 3 trebles in the next space. So do all that all the way up, and then when we get to the corner, I'll show you how to join in the final corner. So when we get to this corner, as always, we're going to put 3 trebles first of all. And then 1 chain, the first chain of the corner. And then we're going to join into the corner space of the square that's diagonally opposite. So into this space, but again from behind. So put the hook underneath to pull the yarn through and through the stitch that's on your hook, and then 1 more chain. So we've gone through that whole layer, and then to complete the square, the corner, 3 more trebles. And then we can see that corner is all joined together. So we're going to carry on in the same way as we've been doing already. Join this edge to this edge all the way along, and then crochet down here. And then we're going to bring in the next square, which in this case is the solid granny square, which doesn't have all the spaces. So when we get to this corner, crochet all the way around here to this corner, and then I will catch up with you to show you how to do this kind of square. So now we've got all the way down to this corner. So exactly the same as before, we've done the 3 trebles in the corner. We do 2 chains. We take the next square, even though it's a solid granny, it's exactly the same. In the corner space, we do 3 trebles to complete that corner. And then the only difference with this is, as we don't have the spaces all the way along, we're just going to crochet every 3rd stitch, every 3rd treble crochet there, we're going to crochet in the space in between. And as long as you counted all your stitches when you made the square, you should have 18 across here. there will be exactly the amount of stitches you need. If you don't have, it doesn't matter completely, just one of the spaces, just skip either 2 or 4 just to make it correct, and then it won't really be that noticeable. But if you want it to be perfect, you need to have exactly 18 stitches so that you can make a space every 3 stitches. So we need to join first to the other side, and then do 3 trebles in this space after the 3rd treble there. And then we go into the next space here to join, and then we count 3 trebles and we go into the next space and do 3 trebles all in that space. So it's exactly the same as with the ordinary granny squares. We're just creating our space each time. In every 3rd stitch we create a space and do it exactly the same way. So carry on now up this side and along the way, joining all the way as you go, joining to this square as well, and then just crochet down this side as it's the final square in this series. If you've got more squares, of course, you just keep going until you get to the last one and then stop at this corner down here. So when we get to this bottom corner, we turn our work around, because now we're going to crochet as we did before, as we did here. We're just going to crochet all the way along here. Remember, in this space here, we do 3 treble crochets, 1 chain, slip stitch into this space, 1 chain, and then 3 trebles into this space, and then crochet all the way along as normal. When you get to the final corner, turn back around again and bring in your next row of squares. So you can continue in exactly the same way. So you will have got to this corner, so then you're going to crochet along here, joining to this side as you go, crochet down here, then bring in the next square, crochet up here, joining as you go, and then joining along here, and just continue in the same way until you've finished all the squares, all the rows. And then when you get to the final corner, when you've crocheted all the way back along here, then you just turn the corner and crochet up all the way to the top. And in exactly the same way, you'll see this end piece here is exactly the same as it was on the bottom ones. So you just, in the same way, every time you get to it, you do 3 trebles, a chain, a slip stitch and a chain, and 3 trebles into the next corner to hold it all together. So when all that's done, you'll see all the squares joined. You crocheted all the way the back edge and ended up with just the 2 ends the whole way around. The only ends are the ones at the beginning, and you ended up back in the same place. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can add a border to this blanket. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If so, please like, subscribe and hit the notification button so you'll be informed when the next video is released.